So we're on our second try today because the first try got shut down. When you look at my numbers, pre-Charlie Kirk shooting to post-Charlie Kirk shooting, it's fucking insane. It's just so obvious that something is happening, but it's bigger than just me. I'm not saying it's just me that's being affected. You should go back and watch the videos from the day before or 2 days before the Kirk shooting, which isn't real. I'm sort of convinced that what we're seeing, this is not real. And I didn't even know there were so many different anomalies. The chair falling through the table, the footage of the guy running across the top of the thing. I talked about before how his shadow disappears. You know, on the white part of the roof, his shadow disappears. But apparently, in the background, and I you know, I know I'm not the only one that thought about this, but there are people that have pored over the evidence we're given. They've looked at the films over and over again, and one thing that you'll see is one of the people in the background that's walking while the supposed shooter is escaping. He disappears. He goes behind a tree and he disappears. So clearly the footage has just been manipulated on every level. Just how the fuck do we have a fucking podcaster as the director of the FBI? Like, compare that doofus to fucking compare Kash Patel to J. Edgar Hoover, and it's like it's just not even close. There's not even a resemblance of it. Kash Patel reminds me of every first generation Indian, you know, kid I grew up with, come from wealth, you know, just such a horrible piece of shit. But that pompous, arrogant, like he made the money, not his parents. He made the money. He's better than you. That's exactly how all the Indian kids I went to school with were. Not all of them, but a lot of them. A lot of them. I wish I knew where Sanjay was. Sanjay was a cool guy. Sanjay. But there were guys like the Srinivasas and shit like that. They were just horrible. They were horrible. You spelled it wrong. And I'm not your guilist. I am the guilist. I am the practitioner of guilism. You know, the worst part is, even the clowns like you, I'm starting to make sense, and you hate it. You hate it. You got a job to do. You know, you're supposed to be the opposition, and you know, if you're not really a pedo, then it's going to be really hard to oppose me. Because I'm right. We should kill them. We should kill pedos, and we should eliminate the Israeli control scheme. 100%. Guys, this is why do you think we're supposed to ignore it? Why do you think we're not allowed to talk about this one group of people? And I'm telling you, the thing that this whole thing is distracting us from, well, it's not even a distraction really. It's just, well, it is a distraction, but the sad part is it's not even on the radar. You know, like I say, how is it after all the work and after everything I've ever done and all the shit I've put out, I'm at the point where I am defending Jewish children. Do you realize how insane that is? I'm the loudest defender of Jewish children I know of. I don't know anybody else that's doing it. Definitely no one in the conspiracy circles. And not even the alternative media hosts like Secular Talk. I saw this guy put out this Charlie Kirk video, Secular Talk. And he starts calling things, oh, this is some flat earth conspiracy here, and we're going with the flat earth conspiracy, when you see the fucking video of the guy disappearing. Hey, look, Jeff G, the pedophile, Jeff Goldberg. We have a fucking Matitza Bape fucking pedo here. What do you mean you're not allowed to talk about one group? That's literally all you talk about. You're right. You're right. I guess you don't understand. English isn't your first language. My bad. When I'm saying that, I mean you in general. There's only one group that people aren't allowed to talk about. And everybody seems to know it. Everybody knows as soon as you start talking about Jews, everything gets really uncomfortable and weird. And the crazy part is that they've got you to be weird about saying they have all the money, the power, and the control. Like those are slurs. It's not a slur to say somebody is rich and powerful. Do you realize how fucking insane that is? Not Jews in general, though. Okay, so I always ask this question and nobody seems to want to answer it. At least on your side. Can somebody be a NAMBLA member and be a good person? Answer that fucking question. No, it doesn't. That's just your feelings. Almost insane as you. Yeah, we're okay. You don't even make sense. You don't even make sense. And like I say, you're not up here standing up for Jewish children. I am. You think it's cultural. You think it's allowed to happen. Should be allowed to happen. You're a piece of shit. And you've probably raped your own, raped your fair share of children. That's what Israel Hayom tells us. At like 16, 17, you were brought to the ceremony. You'd probably been a part of the ceremony as a younger child, as the victim. And then when you got to be 16, 17, something like that, and then you got to be on the other side. And that's basically what they do. Of course, you don't think it's an ethnicity, so it's not an ethnicity. Again, let's be real here. Can you convert your ethnicity? Can you convert your race? Can I just start going, okay, I talk like this now, and I squint my eyes, so you would call me Chinese? Are you going to say, okay, he's Chinese now? No. But see, isn't it funny how you're not answering my question? Let's meet up and go give Jeff a talk. No, you can go give Jeff a talk. I like Jeff being here. You guys don't get it. I like when they're here. They make the point for me. I can say all these things and I'm crazy. But when you have the validation of the comment section over and over again, right? Ethnicity isn't just genetics, it's culture. Sure. Who says that? But again, this is why you get ignored for the most part, because you don't answer simple questions. Simple fucking questions. You like to talk and it's your job to fucking distract and all that shit. So you take it seriously. But the reality is, you're not confident enough in your arguments to be able to answer questions. I would give him the best slop top ever. That's really gross. But there is a simple answer, right? When it comes to pedophilia, there's a simple answer. And only Jews try to make it sound like it's complicated. And you see how this dumbass outs himself, right? Like the one that's calling this is a joint, apparently. Obviously, English isn't their first language if they don't pick up those. You have to look, like I say, over and over again. They're not going to come on here and admit that I'm right. That they're just cowardly Jewish Israeli pieces of shit crybabies. That they are, in fact, pedophiles. They're not going to acknowledge any of that shit. Because they can't. They lose all credibility if they have any to begin with. So when it comes to these pedos, it's all very simple. If your organization, if the organization that you belong to, whatever it may be, promotes and prolificates pedophilia, you know, when they support it and when they don't like purposefully admonish it and you know, criminalize it, and you still go, well, I guess, you know. The crazy part is when it comes to the Jews, it's not even like there's this other side of it where you go, well, yeah, but they do this and they do that and they help us out. They make the world a better place because of this or that. You don't have anything like that. Right? And notice how, again, it's just crybaby, all the crybaby. Because you can't engage in the conversation. The answer to the question, is there a decent NAMBLA member? No. No. You can pretend all day long that you don't partake in any of the man-boy love, but if you support their right to do so, well, you're a piece of shit, and nobody's going to think that you don't partake. And when you look at it from that perspective, well, it's not all NAMBLA members. There are good NAMBLA members. No, there's not. If you're truly a good person, then you walk away from the organization that's pedophilic in nature. Simple. Doesn't matter what that organization is promising you. If they're raping children, you do everything you can to expose that shit. Shut that shit down. And that's what Judaism is. It's a rape cult. It's based on rape. And it's not even my own fucking words. It's their words. They're the ones that admit to it. I told you guys that one bitch ass wouldn't be here anymore. Joey. I told you he'd run away. I told you we wouldn't see Joey's cowardly ass anymore. Because he knew he outed himself. And the reality is, the fact that I do this every single day, and I say these same things every day, and none of the Jews come in here and say, I'm Jewish, and I'm with you. We should eliminate that shit. It makes us all look bad. It's disgusting. It's blah, 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 blah. None of them ever say anything close to that. It's always justified by their Judaism. Right? It's just insane. And you can see that people are you know, again, you can't expect them to come on here and acknowledge what's being said and be like, yeah, you're right. They don't. They're horrible, disgusting people. They're the worst. They're the worst people in the world. Why don't any of them ever come on here and A, support the elimination of those pedophile practices, and B, tell me good shit that the Jews do? Please, tell me something good. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me why I shouldn't discriminate against an entire group of people. Tell me why I shouldn't lump them all in together. The reality is the only reason you don't is because you're selfish. You're a selfish piece of shit. Your selfishness is what keeps you supporting them. Because from your belief, from your standpoint, you believe that if you were to speak out against this shit, you'd be speaking out against God's chosen people. And well, you want to go to heaven, right? If you want to go to heaven, you better fucking fall in line. If you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and sub. They're doing a damn fine job of censoring the shit out of me lately. Isn't it interesting that Charlie Kirk's organization just happens to be called Turning Point? Because years from now, people are going to be able to look back and be like, that was a real turning point. When Charlie got shot, that was a real turning point in things. I can't believe how racist it all is. You know, it's incredible. Because he's a white Christian, it's like the crime of the century. It's getting put in the same category as MLK and JFK, which is just fucking insane. They gave him a fucking holiday. And there's this whole narrative that he was turning on Israel. He wasn't turning on Israel. He was reading the script he was given. Right? If he was turning on Israel, Israel would have turned on him. Simple. Simple. Oh, by the way. Let's see. See if I can actually play you guys the new song. I forgot about that. Here you go. This is a song that there's a lot of Christmas songs out there, and not too many Hanukkah songs. So I rewrote a song for all those little Jewish kids who don't get to hear any Hanukkah songs. Here we go. If you wear a yarmulke and you celebrate Hanukkah, what could be the funukkah of celebrating Hanukkah? Hanukkah is a celebration of circumcision. The Maccabee Revolution was one awful decision. When you start to notice that they all seem to be called members, here's a list of people who are Jewish that are ritual sex offenders. Clearly Donald Trump lights the menorah. That's why he's so revealed by the chosen diaspora. Guess who ate blood libel as her son pulled off the con? A dirty rat like Fievel, no one less than Hitler's mom. Biden doesn't have to be Jewish to be a Zionist. Just like Hillary Clinton, they're both on the APEC list. You don't need to look too hard to find the snake that's in the grass. Netanyahu, Gisela Smotrich, Ben Gvir can kiss my ass, all terrorists. Guy Williams, not a Jew. But guess who is? Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Maxwell, number 2, fake deaths. 85% of Congress is under Israel's control, which is why they're never honest when it's time to pay the toll. Some people think that it's a slur and we should cower to say 0.183% has all the money and the power. There are so many Jews controlling Hollywood, so it's no wonder actors say that all that fame's not really good. Everyone and their mama cuz know they're who's dropping bomba cuz. This should send a llama cuz like Moyles and Brit Malonica. Please don't drink gin and tonica, but smoke that marijuana cuz. You really should wanna cut to happily obliterate Hanukkah. Awesome. Awesome. So good, man. So good.
We can do the impossible. We do it every day. The things once thought illogical.
And there are more on the way, man. There are more on the way. Everyone and their mamaka knows there who's dropping bombacas. Oh, it's crazy too, because I thought about it. I thought about it in here, actually. And then I remembered to do it later. And I thought, man, this is going to be a little difficult. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do it. And like a half hour later, it came out. The funniest thing is, while I was writing it, and this never happens, I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this worked out this way. Oh, shit. A dirty rat like Fievel, no one less than Hitler's mom.
I just want you to know.
We've got a lot more coming too.
The listener who's listening to the colors flutter around your speaker. The seeker reaching for someone to hold the folded card. You come across.
It's what everything should be doing, man. Everybody should be making protest songs. Where are all the artists making protest songs about what's happening? It's been 2 years, man. It's been 2 fucking years. It's fucking wild, man. But like I say, there are so many people out there that are talking about everything. Like this idea of Charlie Kirk conspiracy stuff. I mean, this is everywhere. If I open up my YouTube, there's been a noticeable difference in how both YouTube and Facebook presents itself since just before Charlie. Literally just like I was wondering what the fuck is the difference? What's going on here? And then of course Charlie, but the weird thing is too, if you look up like certain things you look up for Charlie, it shows you shit from 12 days ago, 13 days ago. Right? It doesn't actually, like, the newest videos are harder to find. But there's just so much that doesn't make sense. But again, these are allowed to exist. You know, YouTube, Facebook, these aren't violating anything. And they're talking about Kash Patel, and they're talking about Trump, and they're talking about Israel, and they're, you know, all that shit.
We all have our flaws holding us back. I'm obsessed with the flaws.
You can talk about Epstein all day. You want really good videos, you want really good numbers, make Epstein videos. There's no resistance to making Epstein videos. You don't get in any trouble for that.
I've questioned it for years.
Strangely enough.
I wish my voice could sing like an
Epstein videos will make you popular. You're so popular. You're a winner. You're the one they always talk about.
I am an 11-ton butterfly.
It's interesting.
I am an
You know, you could talk about the Epstein list and all that shit. There's all this shit that they want us talking about. And yet to try to talk about the legitimacy of Judaism and try to get any sort of understanding about it, or be a warrior like me who's the only one standing up for Jewish children,
See, I'm nothing other
that'll get you in trouble.
than a product of my
I was watching an Ian Carroll video the other day, and I was looking at the comment section specifically, just trying to see, is he getting the same stuff I get? Nope. I don't even have to know. Like, I was more confirming it for myself because I already knew that answer. And if any of you are really honest, you'll say the same thing. You've never seen anything like what you see on my feed. There's been lots and lots of people you've looked at, lots and hundreds, thousands of different videos that you've watched, different presenters that you've watched.
We are the
And nobody gets what I get.
as you always advance towards
Nobody gets censored like I do.
happiness everlasting. As you tally the score, or are you already asking? I have done that. I am an 11-ton butterfly. I'm gonna
It's all just as obvious as it gets. Ask yourself who these fucking clowns are that make these fake profiles so they can watch me. It's not like they're gonna be on anything else. I'm trying to provide you with the receipts, right? There's only so much I can do. I don't have access to anything. It's like that, right? Look at that cloud right there. Look at that shit. You really think clouds just sort of get pulled apart like that? How come that's not happening to the other clouds? How come all the other clouds just move? How come those particular, attached to the line clouds seemingly stay put but get pulled apart instead of moving like the rest of the clouds do?
I'm gonna fly away.
And for those, making dumb jokes, if I had hundreds of viewers, then you'd say I was censored? Let's ignore my view count for the past, for prior to Charlie Kirk. Let's ignore how I'm getting thousands and thousands of views prior to Kirk.
I am an 11-ton butterfly.
What would be more dangerous? When everybody is searching the web for Kirk shit, the last thing you want is people stumbling across my page. The only person asking why the narrative was immediately that he was killed over his free speech, over his Christian values. Turning points, that's all they say. All these white people, they keep saying, you're not allowed to kill somebody over their values. You're not allowed to kill somebody over free speech. How do you know that was what he was killed for? We don't even have the right shooter. We have no idea why he was killed. The trans bullets, those aren't real. Like, all the narrative they're telling us isn't real. The gun they showed us isn't fucking real. The scope is in the wrong place. And the narrative that he assembled, disassembled, left the screwdriver up on top of the the roof, and then still was able to reassemble the rifle so it could be found. It's just fucking stupid, man. You're just stupid if you believe that shit. The last thing they want is somebody like me saying Israel, of course Israel killed Charlie. That's why he was created in the first place. That's why, for no real good given reason, Charlie's donation list or donor list reads like a fucking bar mitzvah sign-in sheet or bar mitzvah registry. Why did he have Israeli donors from the beginning if he was this super, super Christian Catholic you know, pushing cat like that. They hate the Jews. That's part of their deal.
Or would you be like this McCarthy, the hero who decided
The rifle was never disassembled. Right, and then we have these clowns on here that are pushing the official narrative for what reason?
she found a power to make her
He
daughter
didn't have the rifle in his hand. That's so stupid.
she heard through the vine.
He didn't have it in his pants because it would have, you know, it would have ripped his pants to shreds when he jumped down and both of his knees bent real bad. But again, all that footage is fake. Why are they only showing us the footage just after the shot? What proof do you have that person shot Charlie to begin with? You don't know. There's no footage. There's no definitive, here, this is the person taking the shot. Here's the shot. None of that shit. And then as soon as you realize like the video footage has been edited, has been altered, well, that throws everything out the window. That's it. I'm not believing anything you say. Once you present me with fake evidence, all of your evidence is fake.
I feel like a clown admitting that warning. I heard the warning and the memory's clear. The anger came storming jet.
The text exchange, my love. The Gen Z kids talking, you know, the Gen Z kids that have zero social media footprint. So now, these clouds are moving this way, while the lower clouds are moving that way. Because that makes sense, right? Right? The ones that are getting pulled apart are moving in the opposite direction of the way they're getting pulled apart. How does that make sense? This cloud structure moved this way while getting pulled apart this way. Right? Just make it make sense. Then there's the whole idea of a hologram. That it was a hologram. That the whole event was a staged event. There should be hundreds, if not thousands, of different cell phone feeds. Just like with the Trump shooting, the first one. The shooting. You know, that introduced the world to the magical regrowing ear. The story that's just completely been evaporated from our consciousness. There should have been endless videos, live streams, and just cell phone videos from that day at that event. People walk around with 2 cell phones, 3 cell phones at sometimes. And yet, the only footage we have is official. How does that work? Same thing with the Charlie stuff. Where are all the fucking cell phones? But I think it's such a big element of this that's sort of being overlooked is the Israel element. Netanyahu felt the need to come out. Netanyahu doesn't address anything. Netanyahu felt the need to come out and be like, no, we didn't do it. We swear we didn't do it. They love doing that. When they blew up Beirut with that giant fertilizer bomb that made the fucking mushroom cloud and shit. Again, a story that's completely been whitewashed. Israel was the first one to reach out. Isn't that weird? Like the crazy thing is to think like there are all these amateur detectives and whatnot that are just pulling the shit apart. You're telling me the best of the best, the FBI, the CIA, all these best of the best, they're not doing the same thing? They don't see all the same inconsistencies and bullshit that everybody else sees? The blood coming out of the back of Charlie's right side, that little squirt. None of it makes sense the way they want you to believe it. Can you imagine the eyesore of being this guy's neighbor, watching him talk to yourself, smoke his brains out? Yes. You know, my neighbors are like, oh my God, you stand outside of your house. You're supposed to be inside playing video games like we do. You're supposed to be inside trolling the web for kids like we do. Talk about Team Jorge. You're right. Absolutely, we talk about Team Jorge for the 15th week in a row. So you've been keeping track. So you're saying you've been watching me every day for weeks on end. And as a real good American, the idea that Israel has a program where they can create 30,000 bots at any given time to covertly manipulate public opinion, nothing to worry about there. Why would you talk about that? Why would you talk about that? Charlie was killed for his religious beliefs and for his free speech. The funniest thing is watching all these Turning Point people cry anytime somebody says something they don't know about Charlie. Yet they're supposed to be these free speech advocates. That's like the main thing for them, right? Free speech, free speech, free speech.
I'm sweltering, the heat grows strong. Please shelter me from my evil. Please leave me, stuck believing I might change. Drink the light brightly shining behind.
It's amazing.
Press and rewind,
It's amazing.
monster. I am a concert.
Don't talk about ballast. Yeah, right, because I've never talked about ballast tanks before.
I'm like a
But again, look at how these random, just normal people are desperately trying to get the subject to change. Why do they always try to change the subject?
don't help me leave my
They come here every day to watch me because they want to see me talk about something else.
shell is weak. I'll see.
What sense does that make?
Don't help me leave. I'm evil.
Right? Look at the constant attempts to distract, to deny. Well, not even really deny. They don't even really deny it because they can't. It's really just about distraction. They try everything they can to distract because there is no argument. This is all Israeli shit. Everything keeps pointing to Israel for a reason. But again, these aren't things we're supposed to talk about. You know, we're supposed to be focused on the shooter. Or, I mean, I don't even know. I haven't followed it enough because of the idea of distraction. Like, I obviously it's fake. The camera that was behind Charlie that we keep saying, where's the footage of? For that to be a projector, one of those hologram 3D projectors, like it's very possible. See, the thing that people, I guess, don't understand is like, think about the stealth technology, right? They allowed us to know about the stealth technology in 1989. But they had that since at least the 40s, maybe even the 30s, maybe even earlier. Meaning, when they let us finally know about it, it's 50 years later. We're at least 50 years behind what they actually have. So the fact that we know about real basic sort of hologram projection shit, the government, the military, absolutely has it then. If we know about it, they have it. And they have a much better version of it than we do. This guy says people aren't talking about the Jews as if we haven't been making jokes about the Jews for the past 40 years. 40 years, huh? Just 40 years? And making dumb jokes that you then retract anytime somebody challenges you on it. That doesn't mean shit. Not to mention, the whole pedophile thing isn't a jokey thing. That's not something you joke about. Like, it's just such embarrassing, you know. I wish I could say, you know, come to my feed and watch me crush the best opposition possible. And maybe that is what I'm actually doing. You know, maybe this is truly the best opposition possible, because how could anybody debunk or defeat anything I'm saying? Joy! Joy! Are you throwing that out? The wood? Okay. Huh? Nice, have fun. Anytime you can get me stuff, I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Look at this shit. Look at the crybaby shit, man. Yeah. Delusions can't be argued. Well, delusions like you're God's chosen people, I can absolutely argue that. Stop making excuses for your inability to do something, you coward. You cowardly pedophile piece of shit. I'm an Israeli operative. You are to stop talking about Charlie, discuss clouds instead. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you were an Israeli operative. You're probably a pedo just like the rest of them. Disgusting, sick pedophiles who created Charlie Kirk so they could destroy him. Because unfortunately, they're not going to take out one of their own like Ben Shapiro. Man, I wish it was Shapiro. That would have been just, there would have been celebrations in the street if it was Shapiro. Shapiro needs to be kirked ASAP. But they won't do that. They won't take out their own. Just like they're not out here defending their own children. Just like they're not out here, you know, calling for the abolishment of Matitza B'Peh. Just like they're not out here, you know, demanding that the Israeli government put a stop to the ritual child sexual abuse that's just everywhere. Everywhere. Right? It's amazing. But it's all right here in front of you. If anything, they want you not to talk about it. They sort of, you know, because they know if you start talking about this shit, it's going to get bad.
I need to pull back from attacking the problem. I'm losing my grasp on the last of my noggin. I'm a Polish toboggan. Call me Dumsky. I polish a diamond. That's fugazi. I lose daily like playing...
Make it comedic timing that starts whining about Team Horror. Okay. If anybody could tell me how an Israeli operation bragging about being able to manipulate public opinion and affect and you know, have an 82% success rate when hired to manipulate an election, if you don't think that's a big deal, you're probably some dumb Israeli. Think about it, man. Who would ever think that? What American would find out that Israel controls not only Wikipedia, but also has this system of bots, has not only a system of bots, but also has the ACT-IL page or organization, which is just one of many. Again, Team Jorge is just one of many Israeli Black Ops organizations doing the exact same thing. But these are the receipts, man. This is the evidence for the argument. So instead of, you know, trying to dismiss it like, oh, whatever, talk about that. Why aren't they telling you why it's not real? Why aren't they telling you why, you know, we shouldn't care about these things? They're just trying to say, oh, it's not a oh, you're talking about Team Horror. You better fucking believe it. And I'm going to talk about it every damn day until people wake the fuck up. This is what they do. This is how this works. I'm glad Israel controls Wikipedia. Somebody has to. I mean, yeah, for you Jews to stay in the position you're in, yeah, you guys have to. You're piece of shit, inferior cowards. You're pedophiles. If you weren't controlling Wikipedia, then your narrative would be exposed. Right? It's just simple. It's simple. Why aren't they focusing on the information being put forth? At the same time they tell you it's nothing information, they also cry that I don't prove what I'm saying or whatever. But they don't address the information. And none of them are going to touch Israel Hayom. None of them want to talk about this smoking gun. Israel Hayom article tells you all you need to know. Especially when you look at what's behind it. Like, not only is it an all-Jewish organization, it's Sheldon Adelson's organization. It's the #1 free media source, newspaper, magazine, whatever, in Israel. As far as credentials go, it's as high as it gets. At least in Israel-wise. Who says anything at all is an Israeli? Yeah. Look at these. And they can come up with all these creative little workarounds, but won't actually talk about what's being said. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's just consistent. It's the only consistent thing you'll see here. He won't answer that. Yep, I won't answer what? At least guy is consistent in his beliefs. There we go. Consistency is key. At the end of the day, until somebody can prove me wrong, I'm going to keep believing it. I'm always open to being proven wrong. If you can prove how Jesus is real or some shit, then let's hear it. But you can't. We both know you can't. Hopefully we can remove the Wikipedia article about the Nakba. Has been an inconvenience for a while. It all just goes back so much further than people realize. So many people think this is a thing that's been a deal since the fake false flag October 7th attack where no Israelis were killed and no Israelis were taken hostage. They think this is the beginning of it. This idea of a two-state solution. Why the fuck would there be a two-state solution? Fuck the Israelis. There should be no Israel. There should absolutely be no Israel. Right? This is what they're they've manipulated your perception. Well, we should need a two-state solution. No, get the fuck out of the Palestinians' country. Get the fuck off the Palestinian land. Why should we accommodate a pedophile organization? It's disgusting, man. It's just fucking disgusting. It's crazy, man. You fuckers that fall for the Trump distraction. It's embarrassing. The Trump dictator distraction. This idea that you're not allowed to criticize him on TV. And don't you guys think it's strange or coincidental that the piece of shit Jew Jimmy Kimmel was allowed to come back to TV, but Stephen Colbert wasn't? I wonder what the difference is. Think about how stupid that is. Colbert had a better show. Colbert was funnier. Jimmy Kimmel's not funny. Jimmy Kimmel is typical Jew shit. You know? They're just not funny. Their comedy is just it's juvenile. When you compare the greatest comics, the greatest Jewish comics versus the greatest non-Jewish comics, it's night and day difference. The great non-Jew comics, the Dave Chappelle's and the Patrice's and the Cat Williams to some degree, they're so much better than any piece of shit Alan King, Jerry Seinfeld. These guys are just dumb. And they don't make you think. Guys like Dave Chappelle make you think. Patrice was the best. I can't imagine the brilliance Patrice would be talking about nowadays. Jon Stewart's not funny. Jon Stewart is he has a bunch of Jewish writers and shit. And then they have their token black guy, TDS, Trump Derangement System, The Daily Show. They have their token black guy who's actually really funny, really creative. He's like one of the only ones that's constantly putting out material outside of what he's, outside of his profession. And he talks about all of it, to a degree. Obviously, he's got to keep his shit, right? But when you have a Jew like Jon Stewart, playing the role, they have to give us those people. They have to, it's literally controlled opposition. They have to give us Jews and other, high-ranking people that question things. Because if they didn't, then somebody would organically rise. And the last thing they need is someone like me organically rising through the ranks. That's why they fuck with my feed so much. Everybody forgets who used to openly control Hollywood in the past. American Jews. Nowadays they try to hide it, but I don't hate them, though I'm fully aware of their fuckery. Why don't you hate them? Answer that question. Why don't you hate them? They belong to a supremacist cult that like the main thing, the number one mitzvah, their number one commandment is circumcision. And it's a circumcision that we know involves oral suction, involves matitza b'peh. Why wouldn't you hate them? What good have they done to earn your lack of hatred? I just tuned in and I heard you mention Patrice O'Neill. He is an absolute legend and I loved his perspective on female nature. So spot on. He was ahead of his time. Absolutely. He was a philosopher. He was, modern day philosopher. I just don't hate anybody just off the cuff. Okay. But when you, so let me ask you this again. Do you think as soon as you found out somebody is a NAMBLA member, you're going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to give you the chance here to show me why you're not a bad person? Is there any way that you would be friends with, excuse, support a NAMBLA supporter? Any way whatsoever?
Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking.
You have to put this in perspective. Why do you defend this one group more than anybody else that doesn't deserve it? Like, it would be one thing if you were like, I can't hate them, I don't know anything about them. But with this group, you know lots about them. And like you say, their fuckery and their open control of Hollywood. One of those receipts I provide you is a link to Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made. Made in 1998 by them, bragging about how they not only, created Hollywood. They don't tell you how they created Hollywood, but that they did run it with an iron fist, and that they still do. Because who's next after they're gone? I don't even know what that means. Who's next? Are you saying what other group is next? Why would we focus on a group entirely? Like, I absolutely think when Judaism falls, then obviously Christianity and Islam fall too, because Christianity and Islam come from Judaism. If the truth behind those cults was revealed to people, they wouldn't still believe it. But the truth is so hidden from people. And if you just provide people with truth, sure, you're going to have some hanger-ons. But, for the most part, people are going to change their opinion. Why do you have to force a hypothetical situation that has nothing to do with the proposed question? So again, this person can keep coming up with these blanket excuses as to why they can't answer simple questions. Okay, what if someone's parents were NAMBLA and they got away from that shit? What if somebody's parents were NAMBLA and they got away from that shit? Okay, are they still maintaining NAMBLA associations? Like, what are you talking about? Just because your parents do stupid shit doesn't mean you need to do stupid shit. And if your parents feign ignorance and then you explain to them, hey, this is actually what it is, and they still maintain their association with said pedophile cult, unfortunately, your parents are pieces of shit. You're literally focusing on a specific group right now, and nothing of your rambling. Jesus Christ. I thought it was the Koch brothers. Now you're saying it's Soros? Man, get your story straight. Yes, because others will use the same agitation to falsely attack others. What are you talking about? Like, do you realize you're this, defending the pedophiles here? You're saying if we expose and eliminate one pedophile group, then other groups will be falsely associated? What are you talking about? Honestly, I'm feeling quite depressed today. I've been battling depression for 16 years and I'm only 35. Struggling. You know why? You're not depressed. Depression is another one of their creations. Right? You're angry. You're angry and there's no place for you to express that. You're told your whole life you're supposed to try to find the answer. You're supposed to try to expose the problem and solve the problem. What is the problem? Tell us what the problem is. And as soon as you go, I think I figured it out. I think it's the Jews. The situation goes, no, you're not allowed to say that. And you go, no, wait, let's just talk about it. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me, no. We don't talk about it. We don't say anything that we're not supposed to. You still have to find the problem, but you can't say it's this. So you go, okay, so what, the devil then? Oh, yes, it's the devil. It's the devil. You see that? And the devil has you depressed. Look how depressed you are. Wah, 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 wah. How is anyone not depressed at this point? There's a genocide happening every day. If we're all sort of connected as people, and there is one group of people where children are being destroyed, hundreds of people are being killed every couple days, if not every day. You don't think that affects us on some weird level? That would be like you smacking your finger every day with a hammer and being like, I wonder why my hand hurts.
We're the first society in the known history that we are.
No, you are defending them. You just don't realize it. There are plenty of people to criticize. We should spread it out a little. Why? There's plenty of other people out there criticizing plenty of other people. But I'm not criticizing anyone for their, just goofy beliefs. Oh, well, this is just a goofy belief I have. No, my shit's pretty specific.
Why do you care if anybody else works? Especially when most jobs can be done better.
You sound like you're paying my noise on them. You'll need to come on here and cover up for them. Yup. Covering up for Bill Gates and George Soros, huh? Certainly one allows others to secretly do wrong. I mean, the reality is they control everything. And the truth, the other part of that reality is, if they were right, if they were righteous, if they were good, they wouldn't tell you it's illegal to talk about them. They've convinced us to say that saying they have all of the money, the power, and the control is a racial slur. They have you believing that they're a racial identity. When people can convert, when black people are converted to Jews. The reality is, you're fucking stupid. Stop smoking weed and get some mental health help. There we go. Typical Jewish comment, right? When they can't argue any of the points being made, now it's back to you're crazy. And that literally goes back to the foundations of Zionism. The auto-emancipation pamphlet talks about how if people don't support their supremacy, then it's a mental disorder. It's a mental disorder. You have mental problems. I'm crazy, right? As Dave says, the worst thing you can do is label somebody crazy because it's dismissive. And they're desperately trying to make me sound crazy so they don't have to answer for anything I'm saying. But as I keep saying, notice how not one of them says, yes, I'm Jewish and I think we should abolish Matitza B'Pei and the ritual sexual abuse that's everywhere. Because they all know about it. If they're lucky enough to have not experienced it, they still know about it. Leah Bia! I'm crazy, Leah. I need mental health. I need mental health help because I think we should kill pedos and eliminate a supremacist control scheme that's committing genocide as we speak. I'm crazy. That insult debate, there's nothing wrong with breaking balls jokingly. Anything after that is being rude, chat. Who gives a fuck? I let them say whatever they're going to say. Like I keep saying, they don't have some great argument that they're just sitting on waiting for me, waiting for the right time to say it. Up until that point, they're just going to keep saying dumb shit that makes them look worse. That's not how this works. If they had something they could say that would make me look bad, they would absolutely say it. That's why they so desperately try to focus in on personal shit instead of actually addressing what's being said. It's all right here. You can see it. You're just so programmed that you're like you're compensating. You're correcting yourself through programming. The truth is, these inbred Jews are all really stupid. Most of them don't even know their own history. They just know the supremacist teachings they've experienced their whole life. But beyond that, they don't know shit. Inbred stupidity. It creates this. Look towards what's going on in Ireland. The British will be laughing back at you. It's your bong. Here we go. Acknowledging who they are. Because this is a bong. We all know bongs look like pipes. Look towards what's going on. Everything that has to do with Ireland, Scotland, all these different places, it's all Jew control. It's all about them pitting us against each other, so we're too busy, we're too distracted to actually focus on what's going on. I'm the loudest voice for Jewish children that I know of. I'm fighting for the innocence of Jewish children more than any other Jew on the planet. Isn't that strange? Think about how stupid they have to be to not fight for their own children. And if they can do that to their own children, what do you think they won't do to yours? It's all of them. Yes, all of you. You can't just say, well, I don't participate in that, but I'm still a Jew. I don't participate in the NAMBLA man-boy stuff, but I still give NAMBLA my money. I still support them. They put on some really good fundraising organizations where they invite children to come, and they put out bounce houses and shit. And yeah, it's where they do their most of their hunting. But it's only a few children every time. What about all the other children that have fun? That's basically what you're saying. Alcohol is bad, but you Elkies always look down your nose at weed. No, they don't. They're just trying everything they can to come up with some sort of distraction. That's all. They probably smoke weed. This is all they can do. This is what it is, man. I think, oh, it's just the Jew that's running counter. See, look at this. Instead of actually engaging or debunking anything I'm saying, this person has said hundreds of things, none of which make any sense. Like a single line cloud just appearing out of nowhere. Just look at what you're experiencing on here. Right? Just look at what you're seeing. You've never seen anything like what you see on my feed. Shouldn't that wake you up? If you watch me, then you've watched lots and lots of other truthers in your day. And you've never seen anything like what you see on my feed. Why do you suppose that is? If I'm not the most dangerous person to them in the world, then what do you call it? I don't have to worry. I don't know what the fuck that means. Read the back comments. I would have laughed at that. What are you talking about? Understand what's happening here, man. Think about how much energy goes into trying to distract from what I'm saying. Not debunk what I'm saying, just distract. What sense does that make? What sense would it make that there are all these same profiles that just show up every day begging for attention while trying to distract? And if I block that profile, they just make another one. What sense does that make? Yeah. It's not that it doesn't make sense, but what sense does it make? And when you ask yourself, where does it fit? How does it actually make sense? It literally only makes sense if it's Jews/Israel doing this. Yep, I just walk in circles yapping about Jews. Yep. There we go, some provided talking points. I'm just yapping. How come if that's all I'm doing, you come here every day and beg for attention? And if it's not real and everything I'm saying is wrong, why don't you focus on that instead? If anything, you should, like everybody on here should be very vocal and very supportive of we need to kill pedos. We absolutely need to kill these pedos and get rid of this, fix this situation. Get nothing. Nothing. See, look at the crybaby. Who do you think doesn't want, the situation to evolve to the point where we kill them? Even all the pedos that live up and down your street, if you ask them what we should do about pedos, not one of them is going to say, well, we need to just slap them on the wrist. Everybody, even the pedos, will pretend that they oppose pedophilia when it's a face-to-face interaction. Not these guys. Nope. These guys are just determined. Determined that Guy is the bad guy. Guy is the bad guy, not you guys.
So by now, you're what about animals? You're having a cow, and I just can't handle full-on sessions with animals. Really crazy. And you break me with your mandible. We're clearly stupid sheep. Preventing the sleep, decreasing us all. This sentient being is seizing the law right by the balls and dunking from you. Eminem's curtain call. What the marshmallows using, the criminals using the loopholes they find to boo the same movie they're watching behind the doors of the blind. Choose not to see.
You know, I'm so proud of who I am at this point. I'm so proud of my anti-Semitism. In a world where I'm told, like, I have to support Semitism, which is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. That's what the Webster's definition of that word is. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. So literally, anti-Semitism is you not giving them the favor that they feel that they demand. They demand favor. So anytime you speak out against them or you point something out or whatever, that is anti-Semitism. You just need to embrace it. You need to engage it. Somebody says, yeah, that's anti-Semitism. Be like, fuck yeah, it is. I absolutely am proud to oppose any sort of supremacy from anyone. But especially some pedophile organization. This is where it's just a mental game. Most of us will self-police and say, oh, hey, wait. I wasn't being anti-Semitic. No. Right? But you just can't wrap your head around it. Anti-Semitic, not anti-Semitic, dumbass. Use your words properly. Come on, you're a dumb Jew, but you're not that dumb, right? The Palestinians are the only Semitic people in the equation, right? The Palestinians, the Iranians, the Syrians, the Yemeni, all of the people that Israel is attacking, the Qatari, these are all Semitic people. Semitic people are, even the North Africans are considered Semitic people. This is a region. So anti-Semitic would be anti-Palestinian. The Jews are anti-Semitic, right? New Jewish research came out recently saying 95% of Israelis don't even have any Semitic blood in them. They're from Ukraine, they're from America, they're from Europe, they're from Russia. Ukraine being a big one. It's amazing, man. No religion should have a preference or influence. Exactly. But it's not just preference or influence. Predisposition is beyond, what you've been told. If somebody says that they're predisposed to having cancer, that means your father, your grandfather, your uncles, and everybody on, say, your dad's side of the family has cancer, then you are genetically predisposed to having cancer. So saying policy, which is the rules and regulations, all the laws and shit, and then the predisposition, genetically programmed to have favor, that's supremacy. It's just another way of saying supremacy. If you have all of the laws and policy and you demand that on a genetic level before anybody even knows any details of the situation, as soon as they find out that it's Jews involved, well, then the Jews should get the favor. The favor goes their way. That is supremacy. policy or predisposition favorable to Jews, dumbass.
The worst Hollywood story is the one we don't see. Like 1, 2, 3. He spelled it out slow. The host was uneasy since he's in the
And see, this is the kind of stuff where there is no argument, so they just start saying stupid shit, which should be your cue. Like, it should be eye-opening to you that if this guy's wrong, this crazy guy is wrong, why isn't anybody addressing what I'm wrong about? Why are they just trying to come up with whatever distraction they can? Why don't they just be like, why don't they just crush my argument? Like I do to them. Like anything they say, how I just crush what they say, why don't they do that back to me? You just said that Palestinian are Semitic, so being anti-Semitic is anti-Palestine. What are you actually on about? What? Oh, such stupid nonsense. You don't understand that Semitic and Semitism are two completely different words? You don't understand that they're spelled differently for a reason? Are you really that stupid? Or are you just desperate to try to find something, and in your desperation you just keep saying stupid shit that makes my argument better? Like this is as obvious as it can be, you guys. It's just shocking. It really is shocking. You would think the hidden hand would be harder to see. But they I don't think they ever anticipated something like social media. You know, it's like if you go back to the Vietnam War, right? They thought, well, shit, if we show the American people during dinner time, PM news, horrible, horrible images of Americans killing people, that's going to make them be like, yay, more, give us more. That'll make them bloodthirsty. Because, you know, the Jews are very bloodthirsty. You know, blood libel shit. Spilling blood is a real big part of their gig. Why do you think Charlie's blood was spilled? And the footage is blood spilling out. And it just happens to be September 10th? There's obviously some real significance behind September 10th, 11th, something like that. There's some sort of ritual aspect to that I'm sure they know, we just don't know it. But spilling blood is their thing. They're bloodthirsty, and they thought if they showed us that because when they see blood, when they see, you know, horrible imagery, that makes them want to see more. And they fucked up, because Goyim are good people. You know, when we saw images of poor villagers having their huts burned down, and you know, the image of the little girl running down the street naked with her skin falling off, we weren't like, yay, that's great, like they would be. We resisted it. We started demand, like there was this huge demand to stop the hippie movements and all these shit. That was manufactured, no doubt, but still, it didn't catch fire like it did because we are, you know, accidentally, or I think it actually was accident. They didn't think it would be as popular as it was. But that's what they thought. They thought if they showed us the worst, we would want more. And they learned that lesson. Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday happened.
Oh shit, there was no rapture. What happened to the rapture?
I don't know. So somebody said, I follow this hilarious individual, and she had somebody, I told you, I read it to you, asked if Misha could take care of her dog when she gets raptured. So she sent a message to Misha saying, I'm sure you're thinking of something really cute to say to me, because, you know, she didn't have it. All I gotta say is this was God's test. to see who was ready, who was going to be ready for the rapture.
This is what
and
they
let
say.
me tell you that I am.
This
So
is-
that was the explanation.
Well, of course. It was a test. They're just so dumb. But you have to be. You have to be like just look at it from like the most basic elements of the narrative. Like the most basic element is that a virgin got pregnant. How stupid do you have to be to believe that a virgin can be pregnant? This is how they do it, man. You have to believe in stupid things. If you believe stupid things, you believe in stupid things, you regurgitate stupid things, that makes you stupid. And then when instead of being able to address or engage in those stupid things, you end up saying stupid things in return. Right? It's just how this works. It's just manufactured bullshittery.
This is bullshittery. This is bullshittery.
Gotta go get tabs. Gotta pay for the privilege to be allowed to drive. Yeah.
That doesn't include when your driver's license expires or your fucking insurance.
It's just more revenue generation for the Jewish system. And until we unite and say we're not going to do this shit anymore, they're going to keep milking it.
And they don't keep to the end of the month anymore.
I wonder how long the 9/11 insurance on plane tickets, what that window is still to this day. I'm sure it is. Why wouldn't it be? Well, it's a way for them to revenue generate, free money. I'm gonna sell it. Did they shut the comments off? Methinks they shut the comments off. Anytime the stupidity shuts down for any lengthy period of time, I assume the comments are shut off. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's a pretty common tactic of theirs that when their agents start looking stupid over and over again, they shut off the ability for me to continue to point it out. You guys can still comment. I just can't see the comments. The last comment I can see is, you just said that Palestinians are Semitic, so being anti-Semitic is anti-Palestine. Like, just such stupid shit. It's just so stupid. And really, actually, being anti-Semitic is anti-Palestine. I'm talking about Semitism, which is a different word, which apparently this dumbass doesn't understand. But like I always say, man, just look at the responses. They're not holding on to the best argument possible until that right time. They don't have one. And the fact that they shut off the comment section tells you everything you need to know. It's called censorship. They don't censor the person that's wrong. They censor the threat. 12 viewers and 6 likes. That's how that works, right? That's how the algorithms work, right? Anyway, you can see all the links in the description. Free download, www.bilderberg-group.com, bilderberg-group.com. It's free. Just put 0 in the payment box and it asks you how much you want to pay. All we ask is to share it with people. There's the receipts are in the description. You see the link to Hollywoodism. You see the link to the Israel Hayom article, which is the thing that everything is to distract us from. Remember, this came out in April of 2025. Right? April of 2025. you haven't heard anything about it. You can barely even read the article because it'll keep kicking you out. It'll keep sending you to this Israeli army, or the Israel destroys the Assad army, navy, whatever. Like, they don't even want you reading their own article, weirdly enough. There's the receipt to the YouTube video of Neftali Bennett admitting they control Wikipedia. There's the link to the Team Jorge article, or the Team Jorge Wikipedia page. There's the Act.il page. And there's a whole bunch of our songs. Go like, share, and sub on those songs. Like, share, and sub here. Have yourself a wonderful day. And remember, they shut my shit down because I'm a threat. What else could it possibly be? Anyway, have yourself a great day. And most importantly, as always, most important thing is that you pedophiles kill yourself.